how he gets you. He says reasonable things, like tidy your room and like walk up straight and eat good. And you're like, yeah. And then in the middle, he slips in stuff like, oh, women aren't people. And you're like, what?
What'd you say? I said straighten your back.
I'm so freaking thirsty. Oh my God, I could really go for some podcast. Baby, let's go.
Sexy. Does that get you into the mood
It sure does.
for drinking in front of a microphone?
Is that you in the recording?
No, I wish. That'd be great. No, it's Will Ramos from Lorna Shore, the band. I don't know how legal this is, but I got him on Cameo to do it for me. So it cost a pretty penny, but he did it. He didn't say no, so I'm taking that as like a sign of consent. Like, you're allowed to use this on your podcast.
Yeah.
I was like very upfront. I was like, this is for a podcast. Don't sue me.
Well,
He's
then
like,
definitely.
here's the words. Unless this is like entrapment. And he was like, I'm going to do it and then sue you.
Or maybe he was like, oh, you'll use it as a segment rather than like the
Every
theme
single
of
time.
every episode.
I just got to make sure I'm not profiting and I should be safe. And honestly, I think I'm good. No one's given me money.
An artistic venture in Brisbane. There'll be no
There's
money
no
here.
No, we're all screwed. Which is great because it means I get to have awesome cameos like that from very big artists that I would otherwise not be able to ever touch, so to speak. Not unlike yourself, of course.
Why, thank you.
Which brings me to my first point. Welcome,
Hello.
Alex Smith of Your Man, Alex Smith.
Hello. That's me.
How did you come up with the title for your band?
So, my name is Alex Smith, for a start. And when I started doing music things, I don't know whether it was a chicken and the egg thing, but I noticed that there's a lot of Alex Smiths on YouTube who are musicians, and they're quite good as well.
So you were born into the role, basically.
Yeah. But also from a search engine optimization point of view, it's a common name. It's two common names combined to make the most common name ever. So I needed something to stand out a little bit. And at the time, I was doing YouTube, just kind of general comedy stuff. And I was like, hey guys, it's your man Alex Smith, and I'm here to blah, 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 blah. And it stuck. And
I like it.
Now, 10 years down the line, I'm like, perhaps a different name. But here we are.
It's too late now.
It is too late
You've
now.
committed. Growing up, I went through my YouTube phase. There must be 1,000 different channels of mine on YouTube that have not been deleted and just have sporadic bits of content because I was never committed to the one name. Even VODKAST was not originally VODKAST. I was going to call it Crunk. Like, did you experience that phase where everyone was saying the word crunk?
Yeah, whatever happened to Crunk? Stop saying Crunk.
It's wild. And obviously I missed the boat because I was calling it Crunk and no one knew what I meant. Look, this was very big.
Yeah.
Every alcoholic was saying, let's get crunk.
Damn.
So that's down the drain. And then I just created VODKAST. And now I'm a bit like, well, bought a sign. I have shirts. I really can't change it now.
I think VODKAST is very clever. It's vodka.
Thanks,
it's
Mom.
podcast. It's a good name.
Oh, thanks, man. But if you think of another one before the end of the segment, please tell me and I will change everything.
I'll stew on it.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So moving on, what genre is Your Man Alex Smith?
I describe it as musical theater pop rock.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You put on a show, like a theatrical production?
Yeah, that was a kind of new angle for it. Because, so the whole thing is a kind of musical theater-y kind of vibe, but also like that album itself, each song is a different genre. So there's like a country song and then like an 80s power ballad and then a jazz duet and so it's so difficult to describe what it is. And then that show particularly was like quite theatrical. So we just kind of told the story that the album was based on because it's a concept album.
Yeah.
And everyone afterwards was like, oh, this was like so good, and like you should do this again, and this was like the best thing you've ever done. So I feel like maybe either the theater angle might be more of a future, or maybe I just need to make the album clearer, because it seemed like people were like, with the context, the songs were much better. I was like, oh, Beans, I've been writing vague music that no one understands.
That's all music. I can't think of any song that I know what it's actually about. Was it expensive to put on that production?
Like, yes and no.
Could you do it again with ease?
Well, I was lucky enough in a really rare turn of events. This show actually made a slight profit.
Oh, true.
Which has not been my experience of the theatre scene, having been a performer for many years. But we broke even and made profit, and I also have a Patreon, so people support my art that way.
You hear that, guys? Patreon.
And I have enough money to do it again if I wanted to. And
that's really good.
We actually were in a position to do it again. We were going to do it as part of Anywhere Festival. Yeah. But it was turning out that like so the whole thing of Anywhere Festival is like, oh yeah, we'll do it in a space that is not a conventional theater space. But they were like, yeah, so we're going to do this. It was going to be this awesome big abandoned warehouse, and we were going to have big projections and like scaffolding, and it was going to be really cool. But then it was like, yeah, so to have electricity and to have seating and all this stuff, it's going to cost about maybe $3,000. And I was like, maybe I'll just wait till there's a theater that is able to have a show in it. And
you guys have electricity? That's great. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. The theater is, my sister has had, I don't even know anymore. She ran a production company out in Ipswich, and she just got so disgustingly in debt. I'm like, you could stop. And she's like, no, I really enjoy putting on productions. So I'm like, that's unfortunate. I get it, but it's just it's difficult to get a return, especially when everyone's like, they're sitting in their bedrooms watching Netflix. It's hard to get them out to like a proper production, unless it's like to the scale of Wicked and Hamilton. Yeah, people just struggle to find the appeal in theatre.
I'm exactly both people. In that. I'm like, please, we're putting on this production. It's going to be so good. Please come. But then I'm also just like, I'm tired and comfy, and crowds are big and loud, and I have no money.
It's rough.
Yeah.
I went and saw Hamilton the other day.
What do you think?
That was really good. I watched the Disney Plus one with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then I watched this one, which is obviously the entire Australian cast. I think they're both just as good as each other, which is impressive. And then the old guy next to me was asleep the whole time. I'm like, well, that's a rave review.
Yeah.
But he also kind of looked like the person that was like, black people on theatre. I think not.
Yeah, like, I'm here as a favor to my daughter who insisted I come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, it's probably just me. I feel like it would have been a better production had I have been American and knew a little, just like anything really about American history. Because I'd like looking at it, it's very impressively done and the story's great. But there's just a couple things where I feel like maybe it went over my head because I'm just like ignorant to American history.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Do you want to talk about Slow Burn, or is it like it's in the past? You're moving on to bigger and better things.
I'm happy to talk about it. I actually had a similar kind of post on my Patreon recently where I was moving towards doing the show again, but not because I personally was like, I need to do this again. We had the first run, and I was like, yeah, I'm really glad I did this. This is a personal goal that I've always wanted to have. I always wanted to get the show on its feet, and now it's a show, and that's amazing. And if I had the opportunity to do it again, I would, because it wasn't as, it wasn't perfect. There were things I'd like to have fixed about it. But also I felt like the reason I was looking at doing it again was because after the show, people were like, that was great, you got to do it again. And then this festival approached us and was like, will you be part of our festival? You can be a curated artist. And I was like, oh, that's fancy. And stroking my ego a lot. But I did a thing on Patreon being like, hey, do you guys actually want me to do Slow Burn again? Because, that album came out couple years ago, and like I have other ideas and other stuff, and like when you don't make a heap of money very quickly, I said on Instagram, it's like that scene in oh my god, Interstellar, where they're on the water planet, and it's just like, instead of abandoning my daughter on Earth, I'm just creeping closer to death each day. And it's like, that's another year gone. One project. That's another year gone. Oh, now I'm 30. Oh, God. And it's like, you know, it's slow to do projects. Yeah. And so it's like, do you guys want this? Because I've got it in the chamber, but like, I don't want to waste this bullet if I don't want to throw away my shot. If this isn't the go for this year, you know?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. As a podcast that officially started 3 years ago, and you're my third episode, I get it.
Projects are slow if you want to do them in a good way.
Yeah, I tend to get hung up on like it needs to be perfect before anyone sees it at all.
Yeah.
Very bad habit to have. I feel like you just got to dive in and make some shit projects so that you can like refine it, make it better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to put out a lot of different shitty projects.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of you doing Slow Burn again. Did you call it Slow Burn Theatre, or was it just like a...
Slow Burn Theatre differentiates it from the album. We just call it Slow Burn.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I think it'd be good to do again. Plus, I missed it the first time. I think I bought a ticket, but I just couldn't go.
Oh, no.
Well, at least you got the money. But yeah, no, I think it would have been really good to see. Why do you enjoy the Cowboy theme? Wait, do you enjoy the Cowboy theme?
I don't even know. I kind of fell into the Cowboy thing because I only have one song on Slow Burn that is the Cowboy song, which is a
that's
line.
Funny.
And then I made the music video for a line, and like because it's the start of the album and kind of like the narrative device of the album. That's the front cover, and I did do the cover of Country Road. Being a cowboy is fun. I like being a cowboy.
Yeah.
But I feel that I woke up one day and everyone was like, "You're the cowboy guy," and I'm like, "How did this happen?"
Guess I am.
Yeah. And on the one hand, people are like, "You should write a country album," and I'm like, "I do have ideas for a country album, and it would be lots of fun. It'd be great." But then I feel like I'm even further pigeonholing myself, because if I do that, then if I do something different, they're like, "This isn't a country album." Yeah. And it's like, but I have other things about me.
No, you're the cowboy guy. Do the cowboy thing. Say the line, Alex.
Exactly. And then I don't know, it's that thing you see on TikTok where people are talking about, like, if you want to make music, you got to, hook them in the first 30 seconds, write a song with like a TikTok in mind. And then people are like, that doesn't lend itself to very like authentic songwriting. And then they're like, it's the music business. And you're like, yeah. And it's like, if I want to make it big, maybe I should just be a cowboy.
I mean, maybe, but it's like people have this vendetta against TikTok for making music go that way. But it's kind of always been like that. It's like, if you want to make it in the music industry, you got to sing about sex and you got to say the same line 8 times in a row. And it's like, yeah, but that's not very creative. It's like, yeah, but it's what people want to listen to. Yeah. And there's a lot of like really talented artists that like no one's heard because it's just not, what's the word? Popularized, I guess. Yeah. You're lucky, see, because Lil Nas X has paved the way for your cowboy career.
When he started bringing out Old Town Road, I was like, this is well timed for me specifically. But also when Slow Burn was about to come out, I think I was going to release it in 2020. So in other ways, things weren't well timed for me because that was a bad year for everybody.
It was good for the Germs, I feel.
That's true.
They had a fucking good time.
They did have a good time.
Do you have any tours or new albums coming up, or you're focused on refining your other work?
Well, I'm currently in a musical, which is a lot of fun.
Musical?
Trail to Oregon, which is a...
Cowboy themed?
It is, actually. Hey. Left of Right Theatre putting it on at the end of March, and it's a... If you ever heard of Star Kid, they were big on YouTube. They did a Harry Potter musical and Twisted and all that. Right. It's one of their musicals, and it's lots of fun, very unhinged. In terms of my projects, I did a poll recently on Instagram and Patreon, being like, do you guys want me to do Slow Burn again, or do you want me to like release a new album and then like make that a theatre show? Because that feels like kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And the general consensus was like, do a new thing, put on a new show. And I was like, hell yeah. But then, like, the day that I published that, I saw a thing that was like, apply for a grant to, you know, put theatre on in Melbourne. So I did apply for the grant, and if I get that grant, I will absolutely do it again.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because like, in a perfect world, I'd put Slow Burn on again. I'd do it all the time. I would, like, develop it and tour it, and I'd put on a new album, and I'd make that a new, like, show, and I would do music videos, and I'd do tours. But
How much could it possibly cost?
Yeah. It's like, at the start of the year, it's like, all right, it costs $10 to do a project, and it takes 2 years. You have $5, go. And you earn 20 cents a day. And you're like,
Gotta be rough.
it's rough. But if I get that money, I'll absolutely do it again, because it's great fun, and it was a very rewarding show.
That's so good. Do you play a lot of venues?
I used to. I'm not so much these days, because I found that I had a theory which was proven by the Slow Burn theatre performance, where I was like, I don't think that my kind of musical theatre rock thing is kind of meshing with, like, the pub crowd, the Brisbane pub scene.
Yeah. They're not ready for it.
I started, like, the first 3 to 4 years of my career just playing songs to people who just wouldn't look up from their burgers. Just like, please pay some attention to me. And then I was doing, like, you know, the Zoo and New Globe Theatre before they died.
Rest in peace.
And then I think I kind of just realized, like, it costs... I usually lose money on a gig in terms of just, like, travel, parking, marketing, buying tickets for people, and then being like, you know, here's a ticket, please come, and then they come. And then, you know, just ultimately, and then you get your tiny little bucket of coins, and then you split it 3 ways between the 3 acts, and then 5 ways between the band. And then if it's a particularly small amount of money, I'll be like, you guys can have my share, so that it at least rounds up to everybody gets like $30 each, rather than you know, $16.40 or something. Because ultimately, it's, you know, the music is its own reward. And I was like, that's
just what poor people say.
Like, this is all time that could be spent on writing and recording. And especially moving into 2020 as well. I was like, I don't think that live gigs are going to be like a go for a little while. So I was like, I'm going to work on making stuff that I'm proud of, and rehearsing, and making sure that when I do a gig, it is a gig worth going to. Especially because you see some bands that are like always playing, which is great, and definitely an angle. And because people are like, oh yeah, you know, they're always playing. Have you seen these guys? I love them. But it can also get the attitude of like, oh, I can't make that show, or I don't really feel like it, but I'll just catch the next one because they're always playing. And eventually it kind of thins your crowd out.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I won't say names, but I know a band that gets like a lot of gigs. And I was like, wow, like that's super impressive. You guys are playing like heaps. And then I was like, I was planning on putting on my own like music festival, and I was like, how much do you guys charge to come to a show? And they're like, oh, we don't. Like, oh, so all of these times I see you guys playing, like, you're not getting a cent. You're just like rocking up to, you know, put your name out there and all that, which respect, but also then I like feel super guilty anytime I have to like charge a band for photography or video. That's rough, man. I don't think I could be a musician, both because I'm untalented, but also I don't have like the persistence to push through that. You know, even like as a photographer, there are ways that I can like cheapen myself down to still get some money. I feel like it's a bit harder as a musician.
Well, for starters, you do very good work, and you shouldn't devalue yourself out of guilt. You are worth what you do, and they are choosing to, you know, race to the bottom, as it were, in terms of money. So don't feel bad for charging for what you're worth, because your time is valuable.
Thank you.
And
I'm getting paid for you being on my podcast, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not losing alcohol.
But yeah, in terms of gigs, it's, you know, ideally you always want to be like, oh, we only play gigs that are like worth our time, but sometimes obviously that isn't always
I haven't played in 12 years.
Yeah, no one's offered me a gig. I don't know, it's a tough one. Some like, because I also really like doing charity stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I'm always down to do the charity stuff. Usually, if I'm doing a charity gig, it'll be acoustic because the band are like, "Where's the money?
Yeah.
There's no money." I love my band, but they're very talented, and they've decided that they don't want to play for free.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like if Taylor Swift, you know, if they were like, "Hey Taylor, we're having like a fundraiser for, you know, kids with coughs at our local high school, can you play?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." Then if Taylor Swift just plays every single charity gig, even though that's like an inherently good thing, I feel like it does kind of be like, oh, well, you know, you don't even have to pay Taylor Swift that much because she'll do it for free.
Yeah.
Charity. So I
Fine
think,
line.
yeah, if you play every gig, then it diminishes the value of the gigs you play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure that camera was rolling.
So you're like, are you hearing this fucking guy? You hearing this shit? You're saying don't
This
play
guy hates
charity
cancer
gigs.
patients. All right, so I got a couple random questions for you. I don't know why, but I've only got like 4 of them. But they'll be worth it.
I can ramble if you want. I can make it last a really long time.
Oh, that's good because this one requires a bit of rambling.
Okay.
What would you do if you found a dead body in a hotel room?
Okay, what is the context of me being in the hotel room? Is it I'm on tour? Is it a romantic weekend away with my partner?
You just had your theatre production last night. After the show, you decided to get a couple drinks with friends to celebrate. Then you woke up in the hotel room. There is a dead body across from you on the floor, not on the bed. That, you know, tells a story in itself. And you're on the bed, fully clothed, shoes still on. Let's go with a hot dog in your hand.
Do I know the body? Is it a stranger?
Ask it. Sorry, this is not D&D. No, you do not know the body.
Don't know the body. Does there seem to have been signs of a struggle? Is it just like a fine body, or is it bloody?
Oh, it's a fine body. Yeah, look, he's got slick back hair. It looks like he's asleep, except, you know, he's covered head to toe in blood. So I'd say there was potentially a struggle. It's hard to tell.
Am I covered in blood?
No.
Is the hot dog covered in blood?
Yes.
Oh.
Could be ketchup. Who knows? You'll have to taste it and find out.
I think I would sniff the hot dog to see if it's blood or ketchup. And if it's ketchup, I'd call the cops and be like, there's a body in here and I had nothing to do with it. And everything's fine. And if it was blood, I'd be like, this doesn't look good for old Wymus. Oh, beans. I think I killed someone with this hot dog somehow.
That is thoroughly impressive. I would want to tell everyone. Look what I could do with a hot dog. I regret letting you ramble. That question is not much better. Which one would you choose? Be alive and alone, or about to die but with a group of friends?
I feel like I'm both all the time. I guess. Oh, damn. That is a tough one. Like alive and alone right now, or be about to die right now with a group of friends?
Yes.
Alive and alone. Because you have the chance to make friends.
Aww. And you're also saving imaginary people, which is kind of nice. Good for you.
Oh, I thought you meant like you die, but you're surrounded by friends. I didn't know you and a group of friends die.
Oh, man, I read it as like you all die.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Oh, shit, I picked that one.
Yeah, no, I don't want to... Oh, no. Okay, yeah, no, still alive and alone.
Okay.
Because I don't want to kill all my friends.
Well, in this universe, you don't have friends. So. Which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face? There's so many.
I'm juggling between Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. I think I have the most beef with... I think Andrew Tate. Because Joe Rogan, I haven't actually heard much from. I just know that he is like, you know, bit of a dingus.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, I feel bad for.
Oh.
I feel like he had a sad life.
Yeah.
And like
He's still living it.
Yeah. And he cries a lot, which is like inherently fine. Like it's okay to cry. But this man cries a lot.
Yeah.
Like publicly. I'm like, this man is not right in the head. Fucking Kermit the Frog sounding motherfucker. I feel bad for him. Like he annoys me and he says inane fucking terrible things. But also I'm like, you had a tough life. You clearly are not right. I won't punch you. But Andrew Tate is also have you been seeing his tweets?
Oh, I have. I don't know why Twitter keeps showing me, but they keep popping up.
That one, I saw a good meme where it was like, day 1, hey, Greta, look at my cars. And then like day 87, Barbara, I saw a ghost today. The man's insane and also an asshole.
Unhinged. And he's still talking about when he gets out and all the ladies will love him. Like, what lady would want to go near you? Psychopath. I'd punch Jordan B. Peterson. Because Andrew Tate's got enough going on right now. I just feel like it's not worthwhile me punching him.
True. Just out of nowhere, fucking king hit Jordan Peterson.
Just, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think anything would come from it. He'd just be like, this is just the way the world is. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
I see you've resorted to violence, you Neanderthal. You can't fight me in the realm of words, so you use your fists.
And I'd be like, ouch. At least I'm not sexist, bro.
Bap.
I listened to him on like motivational like montages for like a really long time. I was like, I like this guy. And then I listened to like the full thing in context and I was like, wow, how did I not realize he was an asshole?
That's how he gets you. He says reasonable things like tidy your room and like walk up straight and eat good. And you're like, yeah. And then in the middle, he slips in stuff like, oh, women aren't people. And you're like, what?
What did you say? I said straighten your back.
Lobsters. The fucking lobster thing.
What's the lobster thing?
He has this whole thing about how lobsters, when you give antidepressants to lobsters, it like makes them more aggressive, I think, whereas it does the opposite in humans. Something, lobsters are the superior species, something, we should be like lobsters. Because if we were like lobsters, we would be more aggressive because that's the ideal way of being. But it's like, we have different brains.
Sorry, buddy. We can't be lobsters. Not right now. Not in this economy.
Not right now. Who has time to be a lobster right now? Jordan Borden Porterson.
Okay, so moving on to the next segment, which I like to call random online quiz that asks whether or not you are a cowboy.
Ooh.
This seems fitting. And again, I apologize if you don't want to be called a cowboy.
It's okay. I'm growing my beard and my hair out at the moment to look more like a cowboy. So maybe I just am a cowboy and I need to learn to accept it about myself.
Well, this quiz will tell you whether or not you are one or if you're just appropriating cowboy culture.
Interesting.
One way or the other, you will be cancelled. That is not the right quiz. I know I said that like it was like some sort of really weird dark side of the internet quiz. I'm sorry, I have so many tabs.
That's all good.
I do also have a link that I could click on, but that's just too easy. I like to work for it.
I like the one where it's like, if there's a cowboy in your room, ask them, is this cowboy times? If they say no, say, you shouldn't be in my room, Mr. Cowboy. If they say yes, it's okay. You're in cowboy times. This is where cowboys are meant to be.
That is haunting. I don't like that. All right, so this is on... No, I probably shouldn't say the name of the website in case they try and sue me. Question number 1. Are you a big fan of John Wayne? Gacy. No, sorry.
Fuck.
Regular John Wayne.
I do not dislike John Wayne, but I haven't seen many John Wayne movies.
So you're not a big fan.
I guess not. Damn.
Interesting.
I like that he made Walking Like You Peed Yourself famous. That's pretty fun.
That is fun. I do that all the time. Could you muck out a stable without getting queasy? So, that's a lot of words that as a person who's not a cowboy, I don't even understand.
That's scooping the poop, right?
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
could do it? Yeah, you can do it.
I've had lots of grubby jobs.
You've been working up to this.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable on horseback?
I have ridden one horse. It was a pony, and I liked it a lot.
Did you fall off?
No. I'm going to say
Sounds like a
yes.
cowboy to me. Do you own more than one pair of cowboy boots?
I only own one pair of cowboy boots. Bad cowboy.
It's more than most, I would argue. Have you ever watched a cow give birth? The internet counts.
If the internet counts, then probably, yeah.
Too much, some would say.
I like that I was like, have I seen a cow give birth? As if that wouldn't immediately
Think back.
immediately present itself to my mind. Not in person, probably online.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen a horse give birth online. Because I remember that it just slips out and then it's like, I'm up, let's go. You're like, damn.
I was a bit like that. Did you watch Brokeback Mountain more than once?
I haven't watched Brokeback Mountain even once.
I don't know if that would make you a cowboy. What cowboy has actually seen Brokeback Mountain?
They didn't even have TVs.
Yeah, losers.
Maybe they meant have you enacted the events of Brokeback Mountain.
That
Or
could be it.
maybe-
Have you done that? Don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Not to my knowledge, yeah.
Would you say you're a good leader?
No. I'm not a good leader.
Your poor band.
I find myself in many leadership positions, but it's not a role that I think I was born to do.
How did I get here? Would you enjoy sleeping under the stars?
If I'm under a blanket under the stars, yes, I think it'd be nice to do once in life in a warm place.
In like a dome.
Yeah.
It's like a glass lid.
Maybe nap for 20 minutes under the stars and be like, all right, I'm fucking going inside. This blows.
Back
there are
into my
bugs,
hotel.
Mosquitoes.
Do you know where to shop for chaps?
I know where I could get some chaps. Probably not cowboy
know a guy.
chaps. I think like leather Mardi Gras chaps I could find.
That'll do, right?
Yeah.
I didn't actually realize how much cowboy culture the gays stole.
Stole.
I mean, I don't know. Were the cowboys all gay? That could also be it.
Perhaps it's a Venn diagram.
Yeah. Because I was like, I wore chaps for the first time. And I was like, what are these fine pants? What do you call these? They're like chaps. I'm like, oh, that's what chaps are. Turns out they're very common among both communities. And I just like was not paying attention. I just like heard the word and I was like, yeah, I know what that is.
I feel like they're designed for horseback riding.
Yeah.
But like the gap that is left would be the part that is interacting with like the saddle. So surely your jeans would wear away faster. Well, not faster, but like it's not protecting your jeans.
So if anything, you want leather underwear on the outside.
Yeah. Or like a big disc that covers your thighs and cock and all balls.
I'm going to email the chaps industry right now. And
Hello,
ask them.
chaps.
Are you wearing anything made from leather right now?
These Crocs?
You have leather Crocs?
I don't know if they're leather, but they're the only thing that might be.
Horrifying. I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Would you consider beans to be one of your favorite foods?
Yes.
That's so sad.
I'm vegetarian.
What else is there?
Yeah. So much protein.
Have you ever worn a handkerchief around your neck?
Yes.
I feel like that's very common among the musical theatre people.
It's a good look.
It's a look. It's the what's the name? Fred Jones. Jones?
Freddy from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. Is that his last name? Surely. Could you make dinner on an open fire?
Do I have like a griddle as well?
Do I have like a microwave oven? Yeah, I mean, I suppose
If I've got
you've
like
got
a
tin foil
pan.
and some chicken wire.
Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be good dinner, but it would be cooked
Yeah.
something.
It'd be burnt.
I can cook something.
Have I been answering this question? Yeah, I have. Would you like living on a ranch?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be good.
I think it'd be nice and quiet for recording and also you get to hang out with a bunch of animals.
That is fun. I watched a lot of Rugrats growing up, as I'm sure we all did. My favorite episode was where they go out and like stay out on a ranch for a while. It might not have been Rugrats. It might have been like Rugrats all grown up. But then I just like had this like deep fantasy of like going out to one of those ranches where you just like stay out with your friends and you sleep in shitty bunk beds and you, was the word muck something? I don't know.
Muck out a stable.
Muck out a stable. I was like, wow. Realistically, I fucking hate it. But like watching it as a cartoon, I'm like, that looks so fun.
Yeah. In the show, were they babies or were they all grown up? Because that'll tell you which one it was.
I'll tell you which one is ethical.
God, getting babies to clean out a fucking...
Surely it was all grown up. They must have been the teenage version of themselves.
Well, sometimes they have the thing where they're like, yeah, I'm going to be like a space ranger.
Oh, and they like fake it.
Yeah.
Liars.
Yeah. The lying babies.
You know, it could be either my brain doesn't work real good, mostly due to like alcohol poisoning. But it was definitely a Rugrat. Singular.
Baba. That's my impression of Rugrats.
Wow, the traumatic flashbacks. Do you know how to shoot a rifle? This has nothing to do with Rugrats. This is part of the quiz.
Yeah, probably. Point shoot. Bang.
Have you shot any gun?
I've done paintball and BB and...
I've done BB. Let's go.
I feel like I've gone to a shooting range.
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever having done that. So maybe not.
You've done the carnival ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be close enough, right?
Yeah. I've done archery and axe throwing.
Were you any good at axe throwing?
I was surprisingly good at axe throwing.
Right, because the next quiz is, are you a Viking?
My dad insists on telling everyone every chance he gets, I do have Viking ancestry in me.
Oh, lovely. All of my ancestry is very boring. In fact, I go directly back to the convicts that came to Australia. Like, that's fun. Some people are related to royalty. Not me. Could you survive long hours of solitude?
I do. Constantly.
One word? Yeah. 2020.
Yeah.
Would you like to try riding bareback?
That's when there isn't a saddle, right? It's not me naked. Because I feel like my testicles would get squished.
Oh, that's just part of being a cowboy.
Is that, would I like to? Like, would I like to try?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. I'd like to try it.
I feel like it would be a satisfying experience.
You feel very close to the horse.
Yeah, just like Avatar.
Yeah.
You just hook your hair into its mane and
tie a little knot.
you so you can't fall off.
I don't think I'd be any good at it.
Yeah.
Like I like knowing that my genitals are on your back.
It's a power thing,
It's
really.
better for everyone.
Are you tough enough to handle winter cattle drives?
I'm gonna say no, even though I don't know what they are. But if the question starts with "Are you tough enough?" Probably not.
Can you lasso and tie a calf?
Maybe like a leg calf. I mean, on an infinite timeline, sure. Give me enough time, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can lasso and tie a human. What? How much more difficult could it be? There's so many questions.
I really want to know.
Yeah, I guess we should really narrow it down.
This is the recruitment process for cowboys. You get zapped back in time if it's a yes.
Oh, it's like Jumanji, but less cool.
You're a cowboy.
Do you think rodeo clowns are funny?
No.
Is this a trick question?
I don't understand it. Get out of here. It's a cowboy vibe. Why are there clowns? What is, like, I've never understood that.
No, they are not funny.
Nah.
Could you last for 8 seconds on a mechanical bull?
I think I'd probably come before then. I'm going to say yes for the podcast, but no in real life. I don't think I'd last 2 seconds.
Have you ever ridden a mechanical bull?
No.
No, neither.
Because it's one hand, right? Rather than two? Although I guess you see some people do it
guess.
with no hands.
Yeah. Well,
You're
you
like-
need one hand for your hat.
Damn.
And then I guess it doesn't really matter what you do with the other hand. Would you look good in a Tom Mix hat?
What's a Tom Mix hat?
I don't know. Let's just say it's one of them. How many gallons is it? 40, 80?
One of the uppy ones.
Yeah. Ones with the hidden cameras.
Yes, because I'm growing my hair out and I have a beard. And if you have short hair, you don't look good in cowboy hat. Actually, you'd probably look good in cowboy hat because you got like the back long and the
A
beard
little bit coming out. Yeah, I'm also trying out for the Cowboys.
Trying out for cowboy season.
Have you ever been to Montana?
Nah, I'd love to go though.
I don't think that should be a prerequisite. But
Yeah. What about people in fucking Texas?
Yeah.
Is that in Montana? Have I outed myself as an idiot?
Is the state of Texas in the state of Montana? I don't think it is.
What if you're in Texas, a cowboy-ass cowboy, and they're like, yeah, I've been to Montana, and they're like, fuck, I'm not a cowboy.
You're just a man in a hat riding a horse.
Damn.
Do you speak with an accent or drawl?
Probably.
I would if I was riding a horse.
I remember I was on X Factor, and they were like, what's that accent? Are you American? So some people probably think so. And when I worked at
What's an accent?
Grill,
Is that from Montana?
when I worked at Grill, they were like, are you Canadian?
Wow.
It's like, nah,
Get a little bit of everything.
I'm actually from the UK.
What?
So I don't know where they get America from.
Right. So you live in Australia, you're from the UK, and you speak like an American / Canadian.
I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
Or I used to.
I feel like that's fucked a lot of people up. It's really tainting our really just lovely accent. Would you know where to place a horse's bit?
Yes. Bit.
Explain.
In its mouth.
Okay.
I know that for non-cowboy related reasons.
I'm glad you know and could tell me because that is not where my mind went. I'm just like, my ass. You should be a cowboy just for answering that one right. Do you have a large belt buckle?
Yes, I do. I have many large belt buckles.
I used to have a Batman one that had like a Zippo lighter in it.
Ooh, that's very cool.
And I always wanted to like have that so like when the crackheads come up to me, they're like, oh, you got a light? And I was like, do I?
I bought one specifically at Tamworth Country Music Festival. And I was like, I want a cowboy belt buckle.
Very specifically.
And I think it's like a cowboy with a horse, but he's not like riding the horse and there's like wolves.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
Do we even need to do the quiz? Fuck is this? Can you do the boot, scoot, and boogie?
I can do a boot, scoot, and boogie. Probably not the boot, scoot, and boogie. It would probably be like offensive to cowboys, whatever I do. They're like...
You could do like the steps 5, 6, 7, 8 one.
See,
5, 6, 7, 8.
I never paid attention to the dance.
What?
I was just like, this song's a bop.
To be fair, I don't think I could remember the dance. Do you have a knack with animals?
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm also willing to play the Sony PlayStation 3 exclusive Knack with animals.
Aww.
And Knack 2 on the PS4.
Their little hands trying to press the controllers. Or their big hands. I don't know what animals you hang around with.
Cats love me.
Dogs hate me.
Dogs also love me, but cats love me, and that is apparently more of a thing to remark upon, because
They hate everyone.
They do tend to hate everyone. But the trick is just respect them, you know. And people don't give cats their space. They're like, and then cats are like, "Fuck off." And then if you're just like, "Hello, Mr. Cat," and then the cat's like, "Hey, what's up?"
I can relate.
Yeah,
Just be like, fuck off until I want your attention.
yeah. That's the secret to cats. When they're ready, you pet them, and then when they're like, "I'm done now," you're like, "Okay, bye."
You stop patting them. Would you want a... Interesting. Would you want a dog to accompany you on your rounds?
Fuck yeah.
I'd be like, fuck no, I want a cat.
I always want a dog with me, given the chance.
Have you ever lived on a farm?
No.
Oh, that's the end of the quiz.
Oh,
You got cowboy in training. You might not be ready to quit your day job and trade your car for a horse just yet, but you show great promise for being a cowboy.
That feels exactly where I'm at, to be honest. I'm like, yeah.
You want to be there, but you're not quite there. As soon as you can learn the master of the art of the lasso, you'll be more than ready to hit the range. Oh, so all you're missing is just the ability to use a lasso. Out of all those questions, that's really what it's like.
I wonder if that was the one where they were like, nope. All the other ones actually don't add to the thing.
You can't do it, sorry.
Is that one of those lids that goes boom when you open it, or is it just a screw top?
Which thing are we talking about?
That vodka.
That is a good question.
Is that a cork
I'm going to
top?
go with spin.
Sad.
I'm sorry. I do have cork ones if you'd like a corked drink.
I would love one, please. Also, I think it's good to...
Please try out the passion fruit martini or the what is it? Pink gin daiquiri. Goon Zach. How is it?
Yum. It's buttery.
That is concerning.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. What is that?
You haven't had buttergoon before?
It tastes like peach and berries, and then like a rich buttery kind of taste.
Nothing quite like a passion fruit drink that tastes like peach, berries, and butter.
Maybe my taste buds are fucked.
Just broken. We are out of time for this first part of the show. If you'd like to hear the rest, jump on over to Patreon and give me money. That way I can provide Alex with more alcohol. Thank you for listening to VODKAST Pre-Drinks, the official VODKAST podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget, if you want to see more, please subscribe to the infinite amounts of social media accounts we've got. We've got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and if you want access to behind-the-scenes content, as well as the Patreon exclusive podcast, VODKAST After Party, don't forget to sign up to the Patreon. I appreciate any support we can get, even if it's not financial, so a like, a share, a save also goes a really long way, and I appreciate every one of you that does that for us. Have a great night, and don't forget to get lit responsibly.